First of all, first time in Edmonton. What do you think? You're only wearing a sweater. Where's your coat?
That's, you know, some of the people were laughing at me when I got in the plane in Colorado. It was 60 degrees there, and I see everybody getting in there on there with these winter coats and hooded, and obviously I had no idea what I was headed for. But I can always tell you this as a kid that I always dreamed of coming to Canada, and I always felt like in my nature as a kid, I'm a big hunter, a big fisher, a big outdoorsman. I always felt like Canada was probably more part of my life than the States were, and I knew my brother ended up in Alaska, and you know, it's a pleasure for me to be up here. I've been to Montreal before and trained with GSP and his team, and I'll be back up there again for my next camp working with Chainberg and Frost.
I just want to say thanks for coming again, and I posted on my Facebook that I'd be interviewing today, and I got a lot of responses. And so to start, I guess I'd first like to ask you to give us a snapshot of your day. People want to get to know you a little bit personally.
A snapshot of my day. Well, I don't know if a lot of people are familiar with this, but I have a couple degrees. Right now I'm currently still a full-time engineer. I graduated college with a mechanical engineering degree. My mom raised 3 boys on her own. We grew up very poor and had very little, and I know it was a dream of hers to end up with a college education, and she wasn't able to do that, so she made sure her 3 boys were. So I still yeah, love my mom, man. She without her I wouldn't be where I'm at, that's for sure. So I still continue to work full-time as an engineer. A lot of people don't know that. I'm probably one of the few fighters that still have a full-time job. I have a family, a beautiful wife, 2 kids. And then I train full-time, so my lunch hour is consumed with my strength and conditioning, and then after work I work on boxing, wrestling, jiu-jitsu, and basically work from 7 to 4, and then after that I train from about 4 to 9 and get home around 10. So there's not a lot of time or extra time in my day, I should say, and I have a wonderful wife who schedules things for me, works with me, does a lot of the business side, and takes care and is a great teammate of mine that you know, helps me get through all this, and of course as a family.
So you're smarter than most of us and tougher than most of us. Is that what you're saying there?
Well, I keep telling people the more I get hit in the head, you know, I'll probably just end up being a greeter somewhere. that engineering degree is slightly working its way out of my head.
Well, when you say engineering, what type of engineering do you do?
Right now I work for, we're a subdivision of the state. I work for a water district. I graduated with a mechanical engineering degree, but what I have done with them, we deliver potable water, which is drinking water, to the public. I set up and developed a hydraulic model on a computer, so it's a replica of our system, and it monitors many things along with pressures, chlorine residuals, any type of infrastructure enhancements that we want to do, things like that, not to bore you to death out there.
We understand that you have a patent on that invention that you've created?
Oh, I don't know about any patents, but let's just say, like, after, I know fighting's not going to last forever, and this is always a message to kids that I try to send out, including my son, who wants to become a professional football player, which, you know, was obviously my dream when I was a kid, but along with any athletic dreams, they need an academic dream, and you know, that's what I try to pursue to these kids, and so after fighting gets done with, or I get done with fighting, there's other avenues that I'm excited to pursue, and that's with my mind and a couple co-workers.
Okay, so let's get to the training. So what fans want to know is, do you take time off before your fights, and how much time do you take off, and what is your training regimen?
Do you take time off? You know, that last week when they fly us out, so the fights are always on a Saturday. Tonight, obviously, they're fighting GSP and that cost check guy. I'm as big a fan as him as you are, believe me. I see that guy that makes my skin crawl. And so that this whole week we kind of take off and let your body recover. The UFC usually flies you out the Tuesday before the fight for interviews, get your paperwork done, testing, weigh-ins, all that stuff. And really that's the only time that you take off before the fight. Usually weeks 2, 3, 4, and 5 are your hardest weeks out. A lot of guys like to come in and camp at 8 weeks out. I like to come into camp at 12 weeks out. Many of you may not believe that since my last Brock fight, but we're working on those things, and Richard's going to help me with that. You know, I think a lot of that problem was with my diet. As far as the training goes, you know, a lot of these guys say that they train 8 hours a day. I just don't believe it. Your body can't handle those intense of workouts for that long throughout the day. You can get in, you know, what we like to do is get a real intense practice in, and then a technique practice in. And sometimes you're able to get another third practice in that's more type of recovery, rehab practice.
A lot of these people that you see out here today had to pass through the Reflex store to purchase their pictures with you, and of course they're surrounded by all these supplements. You're also here and you're sponsored by Nutribolics. Can you tell me a little bit about your supplementation and maybe give a little bit of insight to the fans what your favorite products are and how they benefit you?
You know, supplementation, you know, a lot of people always ask me on that, and honestly I can say that nutrition is the greatest part of anything. It's, you know, without nutrition or being able to feed your body, you wouldn't be able to train. And to me, nutrition is like 80% of it. I believe personally you can get a lot of that through eating healthy and whole foods, and the problem that we have in today's society is you just don't have time to be able to prepare those meals and cook those meals while you're away at work and stuff. And so that's where supplementation comes in. And honestly, for me right now, what I have been doing in the past, I think I've had errors. You continually evolve as a fighter, both in technique and obviously for me, nutrition. And after talking with Rich here at Reflex, he's going to help me get on a program. I'm excited. I just saw an article of his on a diet that I was interested in for MMA, and that's the alkaline diet. And he's going to do some blood testing and other things for me like that. So it's going to get hopefully pretty scientific for me, so we can figure out some problems that I've had. And that's all, you know, able through here. And honestly, I don't know of a place in the States that I can go down and sit with somebody that's willing to do that type of testing with me.
You got started a lot later than a lot of these other people. When you got started, was there ever a thought of, you know, should I really get into this? What were you, 29 when you got going, 28 around there?
Yeah, you know, I was, I can tell you, I never dreamed about getting into fighting. When I was playing college football, I was projected to go in the 5th round of the NFL. This was back in the '98 draft when quarterback you might know of is Peyton Manning. He was in the same draft class I was. What ended up happening is I bulged 3 discs in my back and ruptured a disc. And pretty much I was used goods to the NFL at that point. I was able to make a recovery, and I still have, you know, as you guys know why I canceled the last event. I had another surgery on my spine in the C6, C7 area, so, but made a full recovery from that. So the whole fighting game, I don't know if a lot of you guys are how old in the MMA you are, but when Pride was around, my wrestling coach is Ron Waterman. He fought in Pride and he fought in the UFC. He asked me to come in and train with him and work on wrestling. And I came in and started working the wrestling part with him, and that's how I became involved in MMA. It was by pure chance, you know, and you know, like I say, God's always got a plan for us all. You just never know what your plan is.